My wife and I would like to welcome you to our home for this Ramadan. This is our second Ramadan here in the UAE, and we'd like you to share the things we love in our home. We'd like to share aspects of our culture which explain who we are, in the same way that the UAE has opened its doors to us and welcomed us in.
Australia is a very multicultural country. We share many common values with the UAE in terms of tolerance and celebration of family and good times together. And we'd like to show you some of our traditions as we do that. Our home, we'd also like to show you some of our art. And on the way, we'll tell you about some of the nature in Australia and also how we're doing what we can to continue to grow both of our cultures together here in the UAE. We're very happy to be with you this Ramadan. We love the time of sharing and giving and spending time in contemplation of the things that are really important in life.
So Ramadan gives us an opportunity to share with friends the good times and the things that are important to us. What you'll see today in terms of our cooking, for example, is the way we go about sharing the good times in Australia. That's characterised by being relaxed, by very wonderful quality of food. We're very spoiled for the quality of food in Australia. You'll see the way that families get together to celebrate around a barbecue. But you'll also see a celebration of that relaxed, fun culture that characterises Australia and the mix of different cultures.
We love being here in the UAE because we have so many friends and family who are here as well. We have wonderful 23,000 Australians, and we have a very strong life that is being built here in the UAE, and we are growing it together.
So for us, the opportunity to speak to you and to share with you the experience of Ramadan is very important. The way that we in Australia and you in the UAE have built a nation which is so multicultural, which embraces diversity, is very important. And of course, there are many things that each country gives to the other. And from the Australian side, the celebration of food is a key one. We are all in Australia what we call foodies. We are people who expect the highest quality food. So for us, the thing that will characterize our love of food will be having it casually, making sure it's high quality, and the fusion of the different cultures and how we prepare that food with all of the different influences that come together to make what is wonderful about Australia and what is wonderful about the UAE.
Today I wanted to show you some of Australia's cultural traditions that we display here in the residence. The first one I want to show you is here, our Indigenous cultures. They've been with Australia, in Australia for thousands of years, and it remains the longest continuous cultural tradition in the world in terms of its artistic expression. The first piece I want to show you are these are tungas. They come from the Tiwi Islands in the very far north of Australia. They're made from bark, a natural fibre, and on them are painted the designs of that particular moiety or tribes of the male and female that have painted these particular artworks. This is the kind of material that's used, it's bark and the natural environment which is used to create these artworks. And here we have a different tradition which comes from the Central Desert. It's a desert art, and it talks about the people coming to the area and talking to the area. They needed to find food, and they talk and sang the world into existence. And this depicts this in the context of the kinds of rivers, mountains, sacred sites, and different things that they display.
So after all of that Indigenous art, there are many other wonderful things that are precious to us that we've collected from our travels around the world. And one of these is a beautiful Mughal art. These miniatures were painted by hand many hundreds of years ago and show the Islamic influence when it came to India. This is a copy of a piece which is in a Greek museum. It's from maybe 5,000 years BC, maybe 7,000 years old. And this is original art from the islands of Greece with a beautiful original marble. So this is the Garden of Delights, and it was my first book of poems. And at the time it won the award in Australia for the best first book of poetry. And I was inspired to write poetry by an Australian poet called Robert Adamson. He lives in the Hawkesbury River, which is a beautiful nature park in Australia. This picture here, this is a page from the Nuremberg Chronicle. That's the first book ever printed, and I bought that page with my last money as a young student. So one of the things that I like to do when I want to get away from work, in that little bit of time that I have that is spare, is poetry. It's part of my cultural tradition. This is the typewriter that my father used to write his first poetry, and I bring it with me wherever I go overseas. And for me, poetry is a difficult art form, but a very rewarding art form. The use of words has a chemistry and a beauty. It allows you to write things down and then read years later to remember who you used to be and the places that you have been. Zoe, I will be old when you can understand these words. My hair will be grey, my hands will shake. The lines beside my eyes and mouth will show whether in this life I've mostly frowned or smiled.
What we have here is the start of a garden, and as Arthur said, he likes words which live forever. For me, plants live forever. The DNA of the leaves tell a story that has evolved over millions of years to bring forward. And to help capture that, I have an art that I do, which takes the leaves and prints them on the fabric. We'll take plants such as these from our garden. Here is one, a gum leaf from Australia, hibiscus, which for me comes from Malaysia and my time there as well. And you take this, you place it under the fabric, and we hammer, and this releases the plant print. So this is one of our projects and how I spend a lot of my time here in the residence.
So welcome to our kitchen. Welcome to the main event. This is the bit that we've all been waiting for. We have a number of wonderful things to show you. We have a couple of salads. We have surf and turf, and I'll explain what that means. And then we have a dessert called a pavlova. So surf and turf, going straight to the meat and the seafood. Surf is the food that comes from the sea. So we'll have prawns today on the barbecue, and turf is the meat that grazes in the fields in Australia. The first salad that we will make will be a mango and chili salad, which uses our beautiful produce, but also has the influences from the Asia side of our cuisine.
Coriander.
Coriander is also in
Lime.
in that.
Yeah.
So much for the salads. We already have the meat being cooked. We're using a sous vide to pre-cook the meat to exactly the right temperature for 2 hours at least, and then put it on the barbecue afterwards. So we have Australian lamb cutlets, and here is the king of them all, and this here is a Wagyu beef strip loin. Here we have our prawns, and together they make the surf and turf. Last, but certainly not least, we have the dessert, and that's a pavlova.
And so we'll start with the dessert. The dessert we're making is pavlova. It's based on eggs. We take the eggs and we separate to make sure that we only have the egg white. Into the egg whites, we pop a little bit of salt and then we whip. Then we take the sugar. So we've got 5 eggs, a pinch of salt. This is 250 grams of sugar. So this is now stiff and shiny. The sugar turns it quite shiny. It makes a strong peak, which means that it's a nice firm meringue ready to go. So once that's whipped and ready to go, we have 3 key ingredients that we add. Is half a teaspoon of white vinegar, 2 teaspoons of corn flour, and vanilla. I like to use, you can have vanilla paste, you can have vanilla things. I like essence. I prefer to use a vanilla bean. Once that's all in, we just take a spoon and we just gently fold it through. We don't want to whip it anymore. We just want to fold those other ingredients through. Okay, now I just need to put it onto a tray, ready to cook. Now, in the meantime, we've had the oven on at 180 degrees, heating up, and as soon as we place this in the oven, we turn it down to 150 degrees, and it cooks for 1 hour and 15 minutes, and after that, we don't open the door. Critical, do not open the door. Turn the oven off and wait till the oven cools down completely. So typically we could make this the night before a barbecue or something. It's something that's there and it's ready. It's just waiting in the oven for us to decorate and put together once we get to there the next day. Now it's ready to go to the oven. Would you like to do the honours?
Thank you very much. My pleasure. Done. Not to open again.
So this one has cooled down completely and is ready to decorate. So the first thing for decorating is the cream. We need to whip this cream again. Lots of arm muscles. So now we're ready to decorate. So first of all, we place on top and flip. Okay. Then we take cream and place it on top. Then lots of different berries. Where I come from in the mountains, we grow a lot of berries, so in summer this is very important. We cover mountains of berries. That we will add, and then every pavlova has a mandatory requirement for banana and kiwi fruit.
It's looking good.
Voila, pavlova.
This is our famous mango salad, and it's one of my very favorite. It's very cool for the summer, and it goes beautifully with barbecue. So,
Let's begin. So we start with coriander, add onion, tomato, chili, depending to your taste. If you don't like too much, like a lot. It mixes really well with the coriander, the mango juice and the lime juice. More.
yeah.
All right, and
This is the lime juice. This is what brings out all of the flavors and makes the combination of the salad something very special.
a little bit of salt.
We have to toss it around.
There we go. Naked chef style.
So here we are at the barbecue. This is my brother, Mustafa, my akhi Mustafa, and he and I work together every day. I see more of Mustafa than my wife, and the reason why he's here is because barbecue in Australia is secret men's business. And to do it properly, Mustafa, excuse me, we have to put on the barbecue hat. So, Mustafa, we have the meat and we have the prawns. The key thing with the prawns is that we will cook them, not too much. We have to cook them until they are just pink, very quick. And remember, this meat is already cooked, and so we just need to put it on for presentation to get the finishing touches. So Mustafa, you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Superheated grill, just for a couple of minutes. While the prawns, we can turn them around a few times just to make sure that we don't overcook them, because you can spoil a prawn. With the meat, the trick with the meat is never to turn it and then turn it back again. If you turn the meat and you turn it back again, then the meat will start to become hard like rubber, which is what we don't want. So this event, Mustafa, happens in every barbecue, in every backyard, in every Australian family around the entire country. here it is, the fruit of all of our labours. Thank you very much for sharing this trip to Australia with us. We've very much enjoyed sharing it with you. And as you can see, we have a couple more salads that Britt was making while I was outside with Mustafa doing the barbecue.
So we have a traditional Greek salad with feta and tomatoes, and here is a new salad that we've found here, which has more Middle Eastern roots, involving cauliflower and cashews and pomegranate. So it would be traditional for us to serve a number of salads with our bread and our meat, and we hope you enjoy this food and you give it a go. And as much as we enjoy our time in the UAE, we hope that you will enjoy this as well. So together, I think we'd like to say,
Ramadan Kareem.